Well, hello everybody. My name is Carla Gordon, and I am a member of Temple B'nai Shalom for many, many years before the temple closed. And I'm here to talk about the holiday called Hanukkah. And it's an ancient holiday in the Jewish religion. And I want you to know that I'm Jewish because my mom is Jewish. So in the Jewish religion, it's passed down through the maternal line. And in Judaism, it's something that we've celebrated as a story and as families for probably close to 2,000 years, if not more, as we go on in the year 2020. And Hanukkah, in the year that I'm recording this, is going to start on December the 10th. And it will end on the evening of December the 18th. One thing about the Jewish religion is that we do not use the same calendar that many people use. Judaism is based on the lunar calendar, and so we start our holidays at sunset, something equivalent to what you might know as Christmas Eve, or the eve of Easter, or something else that depends on your background and your holiday. You will probably start your festival or your service at sunset on the evening before. And it's the same with Hanukkah. We have Hanukkah Eve, even though we don't call it that. And Hanukkah is not the Jewish Christmas. Hanukkah is its own festival, and we celebrate it annually. So I've brought some things to share with you that we use during our festival of Hanukkah. And I would like to also let you know that Hanukkah is one of the holidays in the Jewish religion that we know as a happy festival. We have some pretty serious times during the Jewish calendar where we go to temple. Wherever there are Jews, there's always a home for them, and that home is known as a temple. For the more religious Jews who observe all these holidays, then their home is called a synagogue, and that's because they are more observant. And sometimes those people who speak Yiddish will go to a shul, and shul means school. So I'm going to ask my camera lady to bear with me here, and maybe she can follow along with me on the table. So if you will watch, we'll start on my right, camera left, I think. And I have an example of a menorah. Most people recognize the menorah as the symbol for Hanukkah. But one thing that you see, I'm going to pick up one more here, is this one is made out of tin. I have them out of brass. I have them out of some other metal. And they have one thing in common, and that is you will see, I've had this one with one candle and to be lit, and on my right, camera left, you will see a menorah that is ready for all 8 nights of Hanukkah. We have no more and we have no fewer than 8 nights. So what happens is that we have to say a prayer, and we have to use one candle, and that is our worker candle. And in all these menorahs, you see that I have placed one candle in the tallest holder. The tallest holder holds what we call the Shamas Candle. The Shamas is the worker. And when we light these, we say a prayer before we light the others. So for the sake of an example, I'm going to put my granny glasses on so that I can see this. And I'm going to be using a match. Now somebody said, well, how come we don't use a lighter? The tradition is that we don't use anything mechanical. Another tradition is that we say a blessing, which I will do in Hebrew for you in just a moment. And the other thing too is that we do not blow out our candles. So the Hanukkah blessing, each night of the 8 nights of Hanukkah goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotzav, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Well, what does that mean? We can say a lot of things in different languages, and Hebrew is typically the language that's used during the festival of Hanukkah, as it is for the Jewish New Year. This particular prayer just says, "Blessed is God, who is the ruler of the universe, who hallows us with his mitzvot." That means blessings that are good, things that we should do that are good, and who commands us to light the Hanukkah lights. So now I'll give you an example of what it looks like to light these lights. And you can see in your picture that you're looking that I have placed a candle, a Shamas candle, and I've also placed one candle for the first night of Hanukkah. And to my left, your picture right, I've placed several more. So this would be the first night of Hanukkah. Can you tell how many nights of Hanukkah we would be celebrating here? Yes, this would be the third night of Hanukkah. And if we go over to my other side, this menorah is set up for all 8 nights of Hanukkah. And when this is lit, there's a lot of light that's given off. And so it's called the Festival of Lights. And one thing, in case you're ever visiting, it's not very good idea to ask your host or hostess to turn off the household lights. We are supposed to light it at sunset or at dinner time, whatever the modern convenience might be, because I celebrate one way in my house, but other Jewish people may celebrate the festival a different way according to their traditions. And everyone is okay, because the fact is that we're celebrating. So, here we go. Let's try this together. First, I light the Shamas. Remember, that's the worker candle. And actually, we don't even blow out the candle. We shake it, and we place it down. And then I go and do the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Hanukkah. And then the Shamas, the worker candle, goes back in its spot. And then over the course of the evening, we're going to let all of these candles burn down. And in front of me, you see some traditional things that we will find in some households. Some households will have chocolate, and we call this from the Yiddish word gelt, G-E-L-T. And gelt means money. So I have a box, nicely decorated, that has a bag of chocolate gelt. This is an older version. These are milk chocolate coins that moms and dads can give to their children, and then we can use these to play with. They have some Hebrew with them, written on them. And I have some examples of other plastic dreidels that I filled with gelt over the years. And I'll just hold them up for you to take a look at so that you can see that there's a variety. Here's another one, and I have one more. So just like at Christmas that you play with toys, or perhaps whatever holiday that you celebrate, you play with specific toys for your holiday, we play with gelt, and we play the dreidel game. Now, just like some of you give Christmas cards to your friends and family, we also have Hanukkah cards that we can give to our friends and family and wish them well for this specific holiday. And just like there are Christmas gift tags, guess what? We can do gift tags for our presents, for our friends, and especially for our family members, so we know who gets what present. So you see, as we have our different holidays, we have a number of things that we have in common. So I wanted to let you know that we've switched tables because I have some of the many, many dreidels that I own. I don't use them every year when I celebrate Hanukkah. But it's funny, I bumped into somebody when I was younger, and I said, "Oh, that's really beautiful." And he said, "Well, this is just one of the many dreidels that I own." And it hadn't dawned on me that there could be so many varieties of dreidels, because what I was used to was what we were allowed to play with growing up, and those were the plastic ones. And then I discovered that just like there are Christmas ornaments, or that you have your family portraits, there are so many dreidels that a person can find in many different shapes and in many different forms and in many different materials. So I'd like to share with you a few of the more unusual ones that I happen to own. So this one is an early one. This is made out of wood. It's hand painted, and as you can imagine, just the color itself is what attracted me to it. And then, of course, being a grandma to some grandchildren, I had to get some sports ones. This set I actually found in 2019 at a store, and I couldn't believe my eyes because my grandchildren are old enough to play some sports. And I said, "Oh, this is so cool. I think this is just absolutely taking us into the 21st century." That they would have different motifs on them that have to do with sports. So one of my grandchildren has one, and Grandma had to keep one too. Here is another example of an absolutely beautifully hand-painted dreidel. And you will notice on this one, like the earlier one, it has 4 sides. And that is one of the things that's common to dreidels that we can collect or play with or just look at. So what makes them all the same? I happen to have a toy dreidel, and it has both the English as you can read it, and I'll slowly turn all 4 sides. And it also has the symbol of the Hebrew letter that every dreidel that's used for the dreidel game will have. And so we have the letter Hey, we have Gimel, we have Shin, and we have also Nun. Nun is spelled N-U-N. And what I've done is, to make it easier, is I just took a paper plate and I copied the letters that you see on the dreidel, and I put them in a row on the paper plate with the Hebrew letters and how you pronounce them and what it means. And I've done a couple of different plates because then, when we play the dreidel game, everybody who plays can have their own plate. And traditionally, when we play the dreidel game, we put our chocolate chips or our M&Ms or some other type of candy on the plate, and then people can keep it clean and then they can eat it. But for today, I brought some pennies to play with. And in a little while, a few of us will sit around the table and we will play the dreidel game. So all of the holidays have its traditions in storytelling. And when we tell the story, we don't tell it really to ourselves. We want to tell it to our children or to our grandchildren, just as other religions will pass on their stories to their children and to their grandchildren. So what's the story about Hanukkah? Why do we have this happy festival? Why is it held at this time of the year? Well, Hanukkah goes back to something that happened in 165 BCE. And it has to do with the history of that time period when there were the Hebrews. They were Jewish in religion, but they lived in an area that had Greek Syrians. And the Greek Syrians of that time did not want the Jews to be in that neck of the woods, if you will. And so there were a band of rebels. And the band of rebels really had a belief in their cause that they needed to defeat the Greek Syrians. And what happened was that there was a man named Judah who had 4 brothers. And somehow this group that held out overcame the Greek Syrians. And because of that defeat, they were able to go back to Jerusalem and rededicate the temple, the great temple that stood there. And as they were going through, they found something of great interest. Now, you heard me talk about menorahs and how we light our menorahs with modern-day candles. But back then, 2,000 years ago, there was no such thing as a Hanukkah candle. But what there was oil. And oil was held in very small clay containers, and possibly with wicks that could be lit. And typically, the containers would be able to have enough oil for 1 night of light. But the story goes that the miracle was that when they found one of these oil containers, these little flasks, and it was lit, that particular one lasted for 8 nights. And so we have the tradition of having 8 nights of Hanukkah. Not 5, not 12, not 20, but the tradition is that it followed the storytelling that the flask of oil burned for 8 nights. So every child's great wish is to become instantly wealthy overnight. And we've robbed the bank. I've got a ton of pennies here. And we're going to call this the pot. But you also see that my helpers, my player friends here, each have 10 pennies to start playing the game. And we're just going to go around and turn our little dreidels one at a time. And we have our plates to help us with telling us what we have. We have a ringer. What does yours say?
I got Gimel.
Gimel. So you get to give. How about if you give 2 pennies? Okay. And now it's my turn. And I will spin my dreidel on my plate. Oh, she's a ringer.
She's quiet.
Oh, it's a good one. And we don't touch it. We wait till it actually falls. And we go, I'm going to turn this here. We go with the one that's on the top. And the one that's on the top matches nun. And nun means nothing. So I get to neither take nor give. Okay, here you go. Another ringer. She knows how to spin. Oh, what do you have?
I have share 1.
So
cent.
you can put 1 cent in the pot.
Yep.
Back to you.
Is that my...
What does it match up to?
The Gimel.
Gimel.
I got the Gimel.
You got the Gimel. You get to
the
give.
Gimel, so
You
I
get to give.
I get to give.
2 more cents. Okay, here we go again.
Peggy's giving us her 2 cents.
I want a hay. I want half of that. I need hay. Go, girl.
My goodness.
What's a good one? What do I have? None. Or nun.
None.
None. I have nothing again.
Well, I got, in my practice one, I got the same one, the sin?
Oh, shin.
Shin, shin, so. Gotten it twice now, let's get something different.
Let's go for something different. We need
Nope.
shin. You want to try a different one? You can take a different one if you like.
That's okay.
All right.
Oops.
Oh,
Could be
very-
worse, it could be give all or something.
Oh, I got.
You have hay. Oh, girl, take this.
I'm rich.
Get half of that.
I'm half rich.
She gets half.
I'll just take what I look.
Oh, that's
looks like
nice.
half.
She's generous. She's leaving some for the pot. Okay, here we go. Come on.
Are there only 4 designs?
There are only 4 letters.
Yeah,
But all of these are different designs of the same.
Of the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're. Oh. Hey, I've got to give half. Oh. Yep, it says take half, but I'm going to give half. I'm feeling generous. That's okay.
Okay. So you can mix.
I can mix it up, yes. Now, if I was about 40 years younger, I'd take half. You can keep that in and not edit it.
I'm only going to get shin, I think, in my. We need to talk later.
Take it. You could take maybe the tin one.
I got shin.
You got shin?
Everyone puts one in.
Okay.
That was your first.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Do your thing. It says, hey, half. Okay. I'll take half. But I'll take just a few just to make the game go faster. Okay.
Okay, now,
I've got some more.
more shin, okay?
No more shin.
Can't really blow on it because I got my mask on.
No blowing, no spitting, but we can play. Oh, you can do it again. Nice spin.
I'm just meant to share one.
Here, you're going to do this. We're going to do this. Oh, do again. Do it again.
Again.
She's got good wrist.
I'm just a sharer, what can I
Bad
say?
thumbs, but a good wrist.
What's yours?
I have got shin again.
You got shin, so you want to share a couple of your pennies?
Everyone puts in.
Okay. All right. Now I'm looking at the camera. Now you see why it's better to play with M&Ms. Okay, here we go. Half. Give me hey. Hey. Oh, shin. Okay, share one.
Okay, let's see how I do with this one.
Oh, there we go.
Doesn't matter how good the spin is, really, it matters where it lands.
Now, I just want to point out, this one's round, so we have to take the letter that's closest to the ceiling.
The letter closest to the ceiling.
Right. Well, it's just going to keep going.
Wow.
I'm impressed. Okay, she can't play anymore.
Okay then.
Okay, so that would be one of the two. You get to choose. I'll let you choose. Hey, you could take half.
I'm going to say it's hay.
Hey.
The other
Take
one.
half.
The other one was take all, get off, so I'll just be nice.
There we go.
There we go.
And that, everybody, is how we play the Dreidel game, and it's a lot of fun, and it's all in the wrists, literally, and it's one of our favorite games to play. So anyway, thank you for sharing with me the holiday of Hanukkah, and I hope that this has been something that you've enjoyed listening to and taking a look at, and thank you to my helpers.